big beard.
Hey, Kayla.
Hi, Ayana.
Welcome to Fill in the Blank podcast.
Welcome.
Get away, okay, okay, no place we can go, 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 get away.
Fill in the blank.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another week at Fill in the Blank podcast.
What's up? What's up?
We are in a different space. I know you all see, and we're in a different space because we have a guest today, a very special guest. Ooh. But before I introduce her, hi, Ayana.
Hi, Kayla.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
And welcome our special guest, Vicky.
Hi, Vicky.
Hi. We are
some faces.
Yes. Okay, so we are here today with Vicky Logan, and we have to give y'all a little background about how all of this came to be. We'll start with you.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, you start.
Okay. Where do I start? Manifestation. Let's start at the manifestation first. We had a meeting. Fill in the Blank had a lovely little meeting.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Back when I had literally not an ounce of faith. And basically, Kayla was like, these are the guests that I foresee for our podcast. And Vicky Logan was one of those guests. And I was like, okay. I was like, that sounds nice, but sure.
She's like, sure, whatever.
Yeah, I was like, sure, okay. And Kayla was like, she follows you, Ayana. I was like, no, she doesn't. She was like, yes, she does. And I looked, I was like, oh my God, she follows me. So I followed her back. And then I happened to run into her at an event, which is crazy. Saw her at an event, shot my shot. And
we both shot our shot. Though.
We really did.
It was the most awkward shoot your shot moment because we both were like, I know who that is.
Right.
And I want to say something, but I don't want to be awkward and weird. So we were just like, hi.
It was a cute little awkward interaction though.
Like, should I go say something first? Or
right.
Yeah.
I remember I kept trying to inch my way over there in a way. And I was like, when do I like say hi? Like at some point you were looking at shoes and I was like standing there awkwardly like,
that's so funny.
Hi.
And then you ran off and FaceTimed me
immediately.
at one point. And I was like,
you will not believe who's
I
here.
said, this is your time to shine.
So funny. It was because I was literally on my phone, like texting my friend. I was like, oh my God. And then.
So we were all having the same moment.
Yeah,
everybody was having that moment.
I love that.
Yes.
It was serendipity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I shot my shot and then we had dinner? Got ramen for the first time.
It was so good.
That's some good ramen.
I've been craving to go back. I'm trying to convince Marcus to go, but he's like skeptical. He's like,
no.
Oh no.
It's
I'm like,
ramen?
it's so good.
It's good.
Yes.
That was some bomb ramen.
Yeah.
But and then we're here. So Kayla, you spoke this into existence.
Yeah. So I started following you. I don't even know. It had to be like 5 years ago. Like it's been a long time. And I don't really, like I was telling you at dinner, like there's not a lot of influencers that I like get invested in.
Right.
Like I'm not very invested with people. Like
right.
I might see a couple things and be like, oh, okay, that's cool. But like I actually like watch your content and keep up with things and whatnot. So it was crazy because when I saw you all post Life with the Logans and you all did the video, I was like, Ayana, I was like, they talked about you on there. You got to go watch the video. But it's just wild. Like I kind of did manifest this whole thing. I was just like, I really can't see, like, there's not a lot of people here in Chicago that are creators that are like normal people and not annoying. So I'm like, I want somebody on this podcast that are like this, like us, like
genuine.
That feels like, yeah, like our vibe.
Just normal.
Yeah, just normal.
Just normal.
Just
normal, genuine,
people.
authentic people.
Yes. So that is how we got here. And so, Vicky, is there anything you want to share about who you are for people who don't know what you do and how this all happened?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me, for thinking of me. I don't feel like I'm anybody. I really don't.
Look, I know it.
Especially living in Chicago, I feel like this is not like a big influencer space. So like when people know who I am, it's kind of like a big deal because it's like, this is not New York or LA.
Yeah.
So you don't really run into influencers like that. So I'm really low key. Like I just be chilling in the cut, living my life, being normal.
Yeah.
So when people are like, oh my gosh, I follow you. I'm like, really? Yeah. And even still like with Ayana wanting to like talk to me, I'm like, first of all, whoa, you're on Netflix. That's like
are
real.
famous, ma'am.
Like influencers are kind of like, we're not really celebrities like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you're on Netflix,
Yeah.
people know you.
Yeah.
People
It's
know
a
who
big
you
deal.
are.
It's
Yeah.
reality TV though. It's like
I mean, but so
It doesn't matter.
it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, I mean, I just think it's like really cool that we like connected in this way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Vicky Logan. I'll talk to the camera. Vicky Logan. And I've been on the internet sharing my life for a very long time. I consider myself to be like an old person on the internet.
An
like
OG.
Internet OG. Okay.
OG,
Yeah.
just say OG.
Okay. That's kind of like being arrogant though. It's not arrogant to call myself an OG.
Not at all.
You are an OG.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I was shooting in the gym, okay? Back in the day when we were all making makeup tutorials on our floor.
Right.
Like, that was the thing. Okay. But yeah, I've been on the internet sharing my life since 2010-ish.
Wow.
So I started my YouTube channel in like 2010.
Wow.
And it really started taking off around like 2000. I want to say like 2012 or 13.
Come on,
something around there.
consistency.
Right?
I mean, I've been, well, first of all, my parents were really like the original influencers because they used to
Really?
record me as a kid. Yes, I have home videos that they would record me and I would like share my outfits and stuff.
Oh
and
I
my
did
gosh.
see one on your story.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you've
narrate
always been like
and,
this.
oh, I was a mess.
like,
as a
you're
kid.
meant for this.
I was a mess.
Yeah.
Okay? In front of a camera, I turned it on real
You
quick.
saw
I
yeah,
have
what's
the
up?
same exact kind of videos
Yes,
from my childhood.
like-
It's literally me doing exactly how your videos, your home
Oh,
videos are.
I was something. I wanted to be like a Barney kid because Barney used to like audition
Yeah.
in Dallas,
Oh, wow.
which is where I'm from. I'm from Texas. And I wanted to be on Barney so bad. My parents wouldn't let me do it. That I didn't because most of those kids.
They're a little,
You're like,
yeah.
But like around the time that I wanted to audition, that's when Demi Lovato and Selena Gomez auditioned. So I would have been on their like in their circuit. or
Can you
whatever.
imagine what that would have been
Wow.
like?
Wow.
Yeah.
That kind of
You
like
see how their documentaries turned out. No disrespect.
You're
but
like,
they
thank
are.
you.
Yeah, I'm glad my parents shielded me from that because
Yeah.
the industry is no joke. But
Overexposure,
so yeah, I just took my talents to the internet. Really. So if there was ever a social media network coming out at whatever point it came out, like MySpace, Zanga, what's the other one? Facebook. When Facebook first started out, when Twitter first started out, I was on all of them. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
just like making friends and talking about whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I got into what I'm doing now. Really, I just been doing the same thing for a long time. I went to school for advertisement, public relations,
Okay.
and broadcast journalism.
Mhm.
I did one for each year,
Okay.
and then dropped out. So, but
I
was
love that for
around
you.
the time I dropped out is when my YouTube channel started taking off,
Oh,
and then I was
okay.
about to get married. So I was just like, I'm
Oh,
about to
so
do my
you
own
were
thing.
like, forget
and
this.
figure it out, you know? And so I moved to Chicago when I was like 22 and got married and didn't know anybody up here. And I was just like recording videos, living my life.
Yeah.
And that's pretty
that.
much it. We started our vlog channel and we uploaded our wedding video and it went viral. And then that's how that happened. So I've just been like sharing my life basically. Like I talk about pretty much everything from like beauty, fashion, you know, what I like to eat, what I like to do in Chicago. Just pretty much everything. Like I
Yeah.
just share my life really. And it's got me this far.
Yeah.
So just being genuine and being myself is really
Wow.
what I pride myself on. And then like just encouraging other people to be themselves.
Yeah.
That's actually
Is my
really
thing.
comforting for me because I always wonder, like, I mean,
You know.
influencers out here, because I mean, you know
Yeah,
how it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
And I'm like, can I really make it that far just being myself?
You really
You
can,
can.
though. You
You
really
can.
can. You really
Wow.
can.
Especially because there's not a lot of people really being themselves.
Mhm.
Everybody's trying to fit into a mold
Yeah.
and do what everybody
And you
else
know
is
what?
doing.
That's backfiring. It's
Yeah.
starting to
Yeah.
backfire now.
Yeah.
The whole like becoming an influencer overnight thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are like trying to make it a source of income
Yeah.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
When you have to like build some
Yeah.
credibility with your
Yes.
following first.
Yes.
Or else they're not going to buy anything that you like.
Yes.
It's not about selling things.
Yep.
And there's like this whole wave on TikTok right now about like de-influencing, and they're talking about like how people are over being influenced to buy
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff. It's like consumerism, consumership, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Like it's overconsumption, basically.
Yeah.
It's like people are like, oh my God, everybody's telling me to buy a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
I bought a Stanley Cup. I like my Stanley Cup. But I bought it because I like my Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it because influencers told me to buy. You
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's like people are like being influenced but do they even like you as a person?
Yes.
Like,
Do they even
and that's
know
so
you as
important
a person?
because there's no, like you said, there's no credibility. So it's like you're just gonna go with whatever wave, whoever offers you a deal and hands you some money, you're gonna try to sell it.
It's not
and then people get it and they're
It's
like,
not.
I don't even like this product.
yeah,
It's really not
it's not
sustainable.
sustainable because if your following is just based on people buying things instead of them actually liking you, once they're tired of buying things,
That's it.
they're gonna go. You know, it's really the personality that holds people. You know what I mean? I've changed my niche or what I like so many times. People have evolved with me over time. I like something new every other year. I join a new platform and I'm like focused on that every other year. I mean, it's like people have grown with me in a way, so they like know who I am and they get me.
Yeah.
But like people who are newer, it's like it's harder to kind of build that right away.
I agree.
It takes time.
I agree.
It takes time.
I definitely
But I feel like there's nothing wrong with just being yourself and then like going from there.
After the show, I realized there was a huge divide between what people believed reality stars were and who we actually are. And I was like, bro, I'm a normal person. Like, I'm a very normal person. And so here I was with this huge following, and I had to figure out, like, if this is something that I want, how do I build on this? And I was like, I'm just going to be myself.
Yep.
But I didn't know if people would actually like that or not.
They do, because you attract the type of audience like that you are as a person. Like,
I will
just the
say,
same way that I found Vicky and I don't follow a lot of other influencers.
Yeah.
Like, people are going to stay attracted to you as a person and your personality. Like, that was the reason why a lot of people gravitated towards you because of the show. They're like, oh my gosh, this girl's so different from other people that are reality stars, you know? So,
Because I wasn't supposed to be there.
or I was supposed to be there.
I was. You were.
You were. It was meant to be.
Yes.
All of this would not have happened if you didn't go on that show.
True.
Which is wild to think about.
That's true.
Because that's how we met.
Exactly.
Because
Like,
she
y'all
went
wouldn't
on
even
the
be
show.
friends.
Man.
See how
Isn't
that
that
worked
crazy?
out?
Look at
Wild.
God.
Worked out. Look at God.
Look at
Okay.
God.
He did that.
But yeah, so like, I feel like this kind of leads into, we kind of already been talking about like the first topic, which is just authentic influencing. And like, you kind of touched on like how to sustain in an industry that is like, we're kind of like in a microwave type of generation where they're like, oh, we want what's quick
want it
and
fast.
easy and all of that. And then you have a lot of influencers who are just trying to influence for money's sake and not because they want to genuinely like inspire or help people or share their lives. So what has that been like for you? Like, has it ever been a time where like influencing was really difficult with you being authentically yourself? Or do you feel like it's just been genuine because you like being able to show up as your full self?
There are times where it has gotten difficult. I think a lot of the time that you are influencing or you have a following and your following is growing, it can be overwhelming because like it's all of these people. It's weird in itself being online and not seeing physical people, but they follow you and you have numbers on a screen, right? It's like you see the comments and you see the faces, but unless they don't have a picture, which is even more weird. But it's like
which is scary.
You see it. And you see the words and you read the words, but you don't really see it as like, oh, all these people follow me. You know what I mean? That's just how it is for me. So it's kind of dissociation in a way.
Yeah.
But like sometimes it hits me like in moments where I'm like, oh my God, like this is real. There are people who watch me and follow me and know who I am. Typically it's when I run into people outside
in person.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, I am making an impact. I'm doing something. But there are times where like it gets weird because you're reading words on a screen and it's like some people will say things about you, like the trolls and stuff, you know, negativity and things like that. And it's like you start second guessing yourself. You're like, am I really like what they said that I'm like? Or does that, I mean, I know things about me that I feel like are annoying about me, but like when people bring it up, it's like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't be like that. Or maybe I shouldn't. Yeah. So like during like my 20s, because I'm 31 now, so I'm grown.
You in the golden
I'm
years.
grown. Okay.
The golden years.
Now I don't care. But yeah, like in my 20s, it's like when you're in your 20s, you're like finding yourself, you know, and you're just like, you're second guessing everything you do anyway because you're in your 20s and it's so unsure. Everything's so unsure.
Literally.
So it's like I came into my 20s knowing who I was and very confident. When I got on the internet, I knew who I was. I was very confident. But it's like all these people like saying things about you. And it's like some of it's kind of true. And you'd be like, well, you didn't have to say it like that.
Right.
It kind of hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like, you don't want things to hurt your feelings. Me, I'm like a thug. Okay. I'm like, nothing can hurt me.
Like,
but after a while, some of those words, they start getting a little heavy.
Especially when they're the same one.
It's like, it's the same one. Or something that you already kind of are struggling with and they bring it up.
An insecurity that they kind of nitpick at.
Yeah. And that's when it gets kind of difficult because it's like, I want to be my full self, but then I have to like safeguard part of myself too. So I can't give everything because I don't want all of me to be exposed. Like I like being vulnerable. I don't keep secrets. I don't like to hide things from people. But at the same time, I had to learn how to be like, to have boundaries.
Yes.
Basically. Because if you don't have boundaries, people will like run all over you. And the thing about influencing is like, once you do become more popular, people get demanding.
Yes.
And like they
want to know everything.
They want to know everything and they feel like they're almost entitled to your life. Like you're not entitled to know everything about me.
Yeah.
So that's when I had to start setting boundaries and I'm like, okay, I cannot let this be my entire life. Like I have to have a life outside of this as well. So it's gotten difficult in those moments. And then on the flip side, there are some times where you do campaigns and you sign up for the campaign thinking, oh my God, this is great. This fits me. I like this brand. I use this brand. Great. I can work with them. And then they give you this whole script. And then they literally like change everything that you would say and make it sound so like
scripted
and not you. And it's like you're fighting to share your personality, but also it feels awkward because it's like, this doesn't feel like me.
Yeah.
And that's happened to me a couple times where it was like, I would never say this. I would never say this. Yeah. But it's like you're legally contracted now, so you have to do yes. If they catch you off guard sometimes.
I feel that.
I've gotten better now at like picking or at least asking questions before signing a contract so that I know that I'm being myself, because that's the other downside to influencing. It's like people know when you're selling something.
Yes.
So if they don't feel like it's genuine, they're going to scroll right past it.
And they do.
They do.
When they see that it's like an ad.
But it makes you feel uncomfortable too if it's not genuine, because you don't want to say something you don't want to say.
Agreed. Yeah.
So it's like I've had to learn over time, like, okay, being my authentic self. How much of myself do I show? How much of myself do I keep to myself? And then what things am I cool with doing? What things am I not cool with doing? How do I show up for myself and advocate for myself? Because as just being transparent, as a Black woman in this industry, it's very hard to even get brand deals in the first place that are worth your time, because people will like.
They will definitely shortchange.
They will lowball you. They'll shortchange you. They'll ask for a whole lot.
They'll pay
for
my
nothing.
castmates
Way more.
Really?
And so it's like you don't want to turn down opportunities.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I have to respect myself and my own time.
Yep.
You know, so
there's a brand that you've worked to build over all this time, like knowing its worth. It's like I'm higher up than what you're offering.
Yeah. It's like knowing your worth.
Yeah.
A lot of that. And so there's a lot that goes into it, but
I agree.
You know, I just, like I said, my main priority is always to remain myself and be true to myself. If it don't feel right, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
The end. And yeah, it's taken me some time to get there. There've been a lot of ups and downs.
Look, I'm on the journey. I'm learning.
Girl, it's a journey.
Yeah. I remember I posted something, and you're my close friends now, but I posted something. I think the next thing I posted on my close friends, like, my soul just died. My soul died a little bit with that ass.
I thought about that when I was saying it. I was like, I remember when you posted that, because I've had so many moments like that. It's like
my
this
soul
is cringe. So cringy.
A piece of it, or
and it's
even
like people don't get it. They're like, they think, well, why didn't why did you say yes to do it? And it's like, it's not that simple.
It's really not.
It's really
because
not
it's
that
really
simple.
like marketing.
Yes.
Like it is marketing. You were now kind of like a paid actor for that brand to represent them in the light and the image that they want you to.
And sometimes you go into things open-minded, thinking that it's going to be one way, and they throw you off guard completely. Like,
after you've already
we want you to be yourself.
Contract.
We love your content. We love what you do. But then they're like, well, actually, we want you to say it exactly like this. Read it like this. Legal says you have to do it this way. And I'm like, I would never say that. And then I have to I have a team now. Thanks the Lord. I have a team who can advocate for me. Yeah. And they'll go back and forth on my behalf. Like, she doesn't want to say it like this. Because I'm not going to say it nice. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
you're going to say
they'll word it correctly. They're going to word it correctly. And they'll be like, this doesn't really fit her brand. So that way I'm not doing things that don't fit me at all.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that.
That's great. I feel like personally, like I'm not an influencer, but with the podcast growing, like I'm starting to learn about little things and just from being friends with you and watching everything. But like, that's part of what I'm grateful for here with the podcast that we have Ariel, because she don't be playing. She be like, no. She be like, I wouldn't even get excited about that right now. Like, let's pump the brakes for a second. We got to make sure that they are talking right, acting right, you know? So I could definitely understand the importance of having like a team behind you.
Oh yeah. Having a team is it's such a blessing because you need people to bounce ideas off of, number one. As a creative person, sometimes you get in your head.
Yes.
And you like need somebody to like just talk to about what you're trying to do. And then they can say, that doesn't sound like a good idea. Or yeah, that's a great idea. Or they can add to your ideas. But also people who can back you up and be in your corner and be like, you're not crazy. What they said was weird. That's weird. Like that helps because sometimes you feel like, is it just me?
Right.
Yeah.
Or
like,
is this wrong?
Is this wrong? Am I doing this wrong? Like, am I thinking wrong? And they're like, no, that's dumb.
exactly how I am too. Like, that's why a lot of times those spaces where people are just like super robotic, like in the 9 to 5 life, I'm so drained. I'm like, I need to have conversation with people. Like, I need to have creative outlet and talk about ideas and the gray area to things instead of just the black and white. Like,
right.
So I definitely get that. What do you think has been like your favorite part of doing all of this?
I think my favorite part has just been being able to make my own rules because I'm not a rule follower. And Rebels Unite.
Rebels Unite. That is me.
I know like there are parts of me that do like structure and do like, to have a organized environment. But for the most part, I like to be free. I like freedom of making my own choices and doing the things that I want to do. And for me, it's like with this job, now that it is a job, even though it does make me money, like I'm in control of how I make that money, which is, I feel like that's cool. I feel like there's not many jobs where you can do that.
That's a blessing. It's the best thing that I think a lot of people strive to get, like wanting autonomy.
It is difficult though. It's very difficult to be your own boss. Oh, it's hard.
And there's no like set time, like how people get off of work.
Oh yeah, no.
Like it's nonstop.
You have to be very like disciplined to really do this for real. Yeah. Like I feel like I'm not even doing as good as I could be because I don't push myself as hard as some people do. But it is hard, especially when you're like your own boss. Nobody's telling you what to do. You have to like govern yourself. Oof. It's very difficult.
Be a self-starter.
You have to be a self-starter. And a lot of people aren't self-starters, and I don't think they like when people ask me how to be an influencer, I'm like, well, number one, you have to be able to put yourself out there. That's one thing. And then you can't be embarrassed. Because 90% of this is being embarrassed.
It really
and you just gotta get over it.
It really is.
Just saying things.
I embarrass myself on the internet all the time.
Yeah.
But people love that. So I just used to
it's like, you all like it, I love it. Great.
Yeah. But most people are like, oh my God, how do you sit and talk in front of a camera? I'm like,
you just do it. Look, I sit and cried in front of a camera.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But it's like, people just I don't think they get that part of it where you have to literally like push yourself all the time. And you're always learning. Which is fun for me because I like to teach myself things. I call myself a Renaissance sim a lot.
Oh,
play Sims. I'm a Renaissance sim. So every like year or so, I have a new skill I want to learn.
Oh, wow. What is it right now?
You're like, babies. I have to learn how to take care of a whole baby.
Right.
So that's my skill that I'm learning right now. But
that's a big one though. That's a big skill.
It's a forced skill. It's not really something I chose to. But every now and then, but I just like to learn new things, which is great because there's always a new app or something coming out. You have to learn algorithms every couple months because they're always changing. So you
legit, you learn the algorithms.
I try to. I mean, I don't really like execute all the time.
Yeah.
The thing about me is that's kind of a downside to, I guess, my personality. I love to learn things. I don't use half the things I learn.
Yeah.
I just like to
store it in your mind.
I like storing knowledge.
Yes,
I'm a knowledge hoarder.
That is me.
I have tons of knowledge. I may not ever share it, but it's in there.
It's there.
And if you ask
if it ever comes up.
And if I don't know, I'm going to Google it right away.
Immediately.
I will Google things all day long.
Yeah.
And I just love learning things. So I think that helps me to do what I do because you have to be on your toes all the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you think people like stuff, they change their mind in like 5 minutes, especially with like TikTok generation.
Trends are
Gen
always
Z.
like
The trends. It's like always changing. You have to keep up.
I'm still trying to learn TikTok. I think I'm just now.
I'm learning it. I'm learning it slowly. I actually have grown to really like TikTok over Instagram.
I like it. I like watching them, but I get scared to make TikToks. Like I have made TikToks and just save them. Like no, like
it is intimidating. I will say, coming from Instagram and YouTube, the way that I had programmed my brain to make content. TikTok is the total opposite.
It's almost random.
It's
very
total
random.
opposite.
I don't get it.
You don't know what sounds are gonna just like.
I don't get it.
From day to day.
And that's why it makes my brain hurt. Because I'm like, I need like some form of understanding or structure. Like, what is this?
What I've learned to do with TikTok is like, it's so mindless for me.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things where I just get on there and if I have something to say, I'll post it.
You'll just jump on live. I've seen you on live.
Hop on live.
Yeah. She's just there doing her makeup. And I'm like,
if I see a trend that I like, and I think of something funny that I could do with the trend, I'll try to do it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I have something that you did on Instagram that I cracked up at. I made him watch the video thousands of times, and it was you doing. I wanted to recreate it, but I never did it. I always think that I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, never did it. But you were doing the dance to like the the SpongeBob.
The SpongeBob one. Oh, yeah.
This is my jam. This is it.
That was when I was learning TikTok dances, and I was like, I got to find one that I can learn. I have to be able to do one.
I want to do one. I got to learn
I learned them and then don't do them.
It took
I don't
me so
record
long.
myself.
It took me so long to get that one down.
It was good, though.
It took me like a week.
That was a good one, though. Like, I was thoroughly entertained. I was like, this is the type of content I like on my timeline. Like, this is funny.
That is so funny.
So do you have, before we switch gears, do you have any other questions about authentic influencing?
I think, first of all, I'm just happy that you paved the way and I didn't have to figure this out by myself because I don't know what's going on right now. And I've learned a lot within the past. It hasn't even been a year yet. But a lot has been thrown at me. So I'm having to quickly learn boundaries with everybody. I'm quickly having to learn like what my content is, what my niche is. Yeah. But like, how did you get to the point of understanding like the boundaries? Because like boundaries with yourself and what you want to share, but then also boundaries with people, with the comments. And like, do you read all the comments or do you just like...
It depends. Right now, I'm in a very, I won't say sensitive because that's not the word that I'm trying to use. But right now, because I'm pregnant, I am in a very, I say I'm in my cutthroat season.
Yeah.
So I try not to read all the comments because I have no filter right now.
Yeah.
Typically, I'm able to like just delete and move on with my life. These days, I'm like, I got a rebuttal and I got time
I got something to say.
I got time today.
That's how I feel. People
anybody can get it.
Yeah, I had to teach myself how to not respond, but then now that it's like creeping back up, like, ooh, I want to respond. So sometimes people will catch me on live at not a good time, and I'm like, why would you ask me that? That's dumb. Why did you ask me that? Why would you ask anybody that? That's stupid. I'm trying.
That is hilarious.
I'm like, I apologize for the things I said when I was pregnant. But yeah, like with boundaries, I feel like I'm very much a boundaries person in general.
Yeah.
Like I try to teach my friends boundaries as well because I'm like, no, like you're not gonna let people run all over you. Like I'm that friend, right? And I pride myself on having very good boundaries because like, I don't know if I've been like this my whole life or what, but I just don't play no mess.
See, I'm just now learning this.
So even in real life, I'm
like that with
I don't
her.
even.
She is like that.
So it just carries over for me online as well. Like I treat people online like I do anybody in real life.
Yeah. Just don't play with me.
Just don't play with me. We're fine.
Yeah,
like, I'm a
it'll be
vulnerable, open person as far as like sharing things. But like, if I don't want to share something, I won't.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, no, I'm not sharing that. Or I'll just, if there's something that bothers me or rubs me the wrong way, I'm going to speak up about it. I'm like, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But you know what this is teaching me? That I can be mean sometimes.
You can be mean. And you know what?
Yes.
You know what? I think, are you 30 yet?
No.
Okay, yeah.
We're both in our 20s.
When you hit 30, I don't know what it is about. Wait, how old are you
get
guys?
empowered. 27.
I'm about to be 29.
Ooh,
Yeah.
so 27 was the year for me where it's kind of started hitting me that I was like, okay, I have a say so.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
That's literally how I'm starting to feel right now.
Yes, you start feeling it like, okay, I don't have to say yes to everything, and I can say no.
Literally what we just talked about.
I just
I just told my sister this because she's about to turn 27. I'm like, when you turn 27, it's gonna hit you. Like, I don't have to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
And I can say no.
I told you today. I was like that. They were like trying to guilt trip me into staying, and we already had this planned out. I was like,
said,
no, I'm leaving.
No.
They were like, oh, but we really. I'm like, no, that's too bad. I'm out. Bye.
Yeah, I think I started realizing that around like 27. By the time I hit 30, it was a wrap. Like, saying no is like so easy now. So just get ready because 30 is great.
That's gonna be bad for me
that's
because
what I keep saying. I feel like 30 is the golden
30 is
age,
great.
man.
I love it.
I
I love
can't
it.
wait.
I feel so much freedom. I don't know why it just happens at 30.
Because it's like, I'm a grown ass woman.
You are.
like for real.
No, it hits you. You're like, oh, I'm grown. I don't have to do
Yeah,
this.
I don't have to deal with this.
Yeah. So now I'm like, oh no, I don't take anything from anybody. So with like boundaries for me, it's like my peace is so much more important than what people think about me.
Yes.
Hello.
That is like my main thing. I don't care what people think. As long as I'm at peace, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
As long as I know who I am, that's all that matters.
Because you can't please everybody.
No, you really can't. It's like you can't even. You can do everything right and still be wrong.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
And I've realized that so many times. It's like I try to like explain myself and defend myself.
Yes.
And, girl, they don't care.
They really don't. They
These people
really
do not
don't. They'll take whatever they saw and just run with that.
The
and they won't
internet
listen to
is like
nothing else.
opinions.
Yes.
Everybody's opinion.
Especially because they're behind.
You can never be right with opinion.
Yeah, no, you can't.
You can't. Like,
because
you
they'll
literally
argue
can't.
you down.
Yeah, and I'm a facts-minded person. Like, I don't rely on like
Emotion
at all.
Yeah.
So when like I say things, I come from like a factual standpoint, and people are like, "But this is how I feel," and I'm like, "I don't."
But your feelings are
I don't care how you
care,
feel.
though. This is the fact,
Right.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
But people don't think that way when
Yeah.
they're like typing their comments and saying whatever they want to say.
They be like, but this is my opinion. Okay,
And
why did you?
But
feel
why do you
to
have to share
that?
your opinion about someone else and what they're doing?
people,
and just
you know,
That's what I don't understand. It's the audacity.
it's the audacity.
Literally.
But you know what I've also learned? I've also learned that people's actions are not really a reflection of you.
It's more
so
of a reflection of them. Yes.
They're
I was like, people are
projecting half the time.
Like
Yes.
crazy.
They're projecting half the time. They're hurt about something.
Yeah.
You know, and it usually doesn't have anything to do with you.
Yeah.
So I just, I'm just like, girl, I'm sorry that somebody hurt you. Where you feel like you had to say something to me.
Look, that's about to
But
be
guess
my
what?
response. I'm sorry somebody hurt you.
I'm sorry somebody hurt you, but guess what? It don't bother me and I'm asleep tonight.
come on.
So, and I
can't wait till you get in that bag because I be in her comment section reading it and I be ready to pop off on people myself. I'm like, you want me to say something? She be like, no, it's cool. I'm like, but they don't know me. So
they don't know me.
They don't know me. So I can say whatever I want.
At this point in my life, I'm like, my peace is so much more important. I really don't care.
I'm getting
love
there.
that.
I'm getting there. For
So
sure.
boundaries for me is like key for my peace. I don't let anybody disturb my peace.
I
And
like
it's great.
that.
It's great over here.
I like
learning.
that. I'm learning that. I'm getting there for sure.
And to what you said about being mean, like, people make being mean. I joke about it all the time, like that I'm mean, that I'm not. I mean, I feel like I'm a nice person.
Yeah,
you are a nice
Get to know-
person.
But like most people, when they first meet me, they're like, I don't know if she likes me or not. And it's because I'm observant. I'm just an observant person. Like I'm not like a open, oh my gosh, hug me. And I'm like, okay, who are you?
Yeah.
Let
let me make
first.
sure that you're okay.
Make sure you have good intention.
Yeah.
But I have learned also that being mean isn't always the bad thing. Sometimes
You need to be mean.
You need to be
sometimes.
mean
Yeah.
sometimes.
I feel it.
And I don't even think it's mean. It's more so just standing up for yourself.
Yeah.
Really. People are intimidated by people who are confident.
Yeah.
And so like if you're confident in yourself and you make a decision or you say something and you really mean that and it hurt their feelings because they didn't expect you to do that. Like they wanted you to, they had a different outcome in their head.
It's crazy how they
That's
lose
it.
the rah-rah though when you respond. I don't know how many times I've seen that when I have responded. They're like, oh my God, I didn't think you would actually see it. You're literally commenting under my
On my
personal
page.
like
What did you think that? Where did you
I
think
wasn't
these
gonna see
comments
that?
were
Now I'm
going?
confused.
And sometimes people just say things because they just want a response. I've also learned that.
I've
too.
learned that
Because
too.
then you respond. They be like,
And
oh
they
my
keep-
gosh, I
Oh my
love
God,
you.
I love you. So you had to
Like,
get on my
what?
nerves to get my
Right.
attention?
I don't
And you
get
thought that was
that.
gonna work?
I
Horrible.
think what I was shocked because I used to joke all the time before the show, like I hate people, but like now I'm like, wow, I really hate people. But then also I realized like some people out here really just like some missing up here.
Yeah. People are, what I've learned
Especially
too?
online.
Yeah.
Like,
I think people are just lonely.
People
They
are
are.
lonely and just unhealed.
Yeah.
and like just
and they're just like you all said, projecting their traumas
Yeah.
onto anybody that they can.
And the
does make me
internet
sad.
gives them a little bit of power. It gives them a voice and a platform.
Yeah, because
So
it's like,
people
what are
will
you going to
see
do?
it. Yeah,
Like,
so if
can't
you
fight
see
me.
it and you having a lot of followers and stuff, that's like it's almost like it doesn't matter if it's negative or positive, it's still attention.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, like she responded to me.
Yeah.
I got somebody to respond.
And she's famous and I love her.
Yeah, so
she responded to me.
She responded. So that's all they wanted, really.
So you might as well just start popping off in your response. All that to be said.
All that to say,
pop off on the people.
If you want to be mean, be mean.
I love it.
Like, what is it going to hurt?
Right.
It's just going to get people in check.
Pretty much.
I like it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, as long as you're not being like...
Oh
yeah,
no!
She does good. Like her clapbacks are pretty good though. Like when she clapbacks, it's almost like nice, but it's like, oh, you just put me in check. Like I'll be reading them, I'll be like,
you know, my followers like they know I love memes. I have a whole meme folder. I have like 200 something memes in my phone. I speak in meme. That's how I communicate.
Love that.
And so like if somebody leaves a dumb comment or something, I screenshot it, I'll post it in my story, and I'll put a meme on it and make a whole thing out of it. And I'm like, you wanted attention?
Here you go.
Wait, do you tag them too, or you just
I won't tag them.
I was like,
but they know. No. They know what
Look,
it's
I'll see them
know.
tag them. I'll see. You know,
if it's a DM or something, typically I'll just cut out their face. I won't put who it is.
I like that.
Yeah.
I want to do that so much.
You should do it.
To the people who are mean in my comments and to the men who are in my comments who I can see they got a whole wife and child.
Yeah. Girl, yes.
Put them out there.
Yes, put them out there. You know who does that? Jasmina from Married at First Sight.
I believe it because Jasmina
she does that all the time, and I'm
Jasmina does
cracking
not play.
up. I'm like, oh, this is great content. She's
I love
10
it.
out of 10.
I love it.
I love it.
I love
it.
Because put your foot down. These people cannot just say
you
whatever.
have to.
You're right.
You have to. You can't let people listen. You can't let people listen. This is your page.
This is my page.
Like you came to my page, so this is what you're gonna get. Boom.
I like
That's
it.
it.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, we're gonna switch gears because we going all day about these people. This could be a whole episode just talking about the people on the internet.
The comments.
But let's switch over to your Amazon drop collection and fashion. Like that's a big part of your brand. And I'm wearing Vicky's one of her sets.
That's so cool.
Should I get up? Can I get up? Asia, is it gonna mess
around.
things up? She said no.
She doesn't want to. She's cringing. She's cringing.
Yeah. She's like no. But I'll post some pictures of it. But yes, I was like, when I saw this collection, this is the second one.
Yes.
So talk about how you got into that, how that opportunity came about. Just like, where did you get connected with Amazon and the drop?
So, you know, what's funny? People always used to ask me when I was like really heavy into YouTube and I used to do my try on hauls and all that stuff. People used to ask me if I ever wanted a clothing line and I'd be like, no, I don't want a clothing line. I don't want to design clothes. Yes, because I was always under the impression that I'd have to do
the work
so
of
much
like
of the
drawing and stuff.
Not even that. It's like the whole process, the business part of it is what I was really like nervous about. So I was like, I will never do this unless I have like a collab or something that I can do because I just don't want to be held responsible for shipping out all this stuff. Oh yeah. Holding inventory in my home. Like, I just don't have the space for that. Yeah. So I had put that in the back of my head. Yeah. And then probably, I think it was 2020. I was doing campaigns for Amazon. I did like a year-long campaign with Amazon. And it was actually for their devices, like Amazon devices, like Alexa and things like that. Okay. I was hoping there was no Alexa in here. Like, can she hear me? Like, what? If you're playing this out loud in your home and Alexa talks, I'm sorry. But I did a lot of Alexa stuff, so I know how that goes. And yeah, so it was mostly for devices. And then since I was already, you know, in the Amazon space, my management was able to like start reaching out to Amazon the drop because they're like, you could do a drop. And I had seen Blake, who lives in Chicago as well, who we're cool. That's my homie. Yeah. And she was doing her Amazon drops. And she's like the queen of Amazon drops. Like she is like the Amazon drop girl. Yeah. Okay. Always
it's
selling
amazing.
out.
Like, I'm going to show you some of her stuff.
I mean, she's really paved the way I want to say she's paved the way for Black women to do the drop because there weren't that many of us doing it at the start of it. And she, you know, sent a DM and was like, hey, I'm going to shoot my shot and like, I want to do a drop. Yeah. So once I saw that, I was like, oh, like I could do this.
Like this is possible.
This is possible for me. So I let my management know. I was like, you know, if Amazon ever say anything about their clothes or fashion or whatever, I want to like, hop on board because I want to, maybe one day we could do a drop. And so then year later, I had a call, Amazon the drop reached out. Here's the thing. When you shoot your shot, you have to have like more bullets in the chamber. Okay. You gotta be ready to,
you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. Like when they say something, you gotta be like, okay,
you gotta be ready. Yeah. And I learned that from Blake when she reached out to them. Like her page is great. Like you go on her page, you see all of what could be. You know what I mean? And that's what you kind of have to do when you work with brands. Like you have to like, yes, you got to like make sure like if you're going to reach out to a brand, they need to be able to go to your page and see what they can put on, like how they can benefit from you.
Yeah.
So I had already been buying other drops and like wearing their clothes and stuff so that they kind of got an idea of how I would style things. Like, you know, so even if they were just like, oh, we just want to like send you some things and you know what I mean? I was just trying to like see what could happen.
Yeah.
And I think it worked. Because,
it definitely worked.
They were like, we want to do a call with you. And I'm thinking like, they're just going to be like, oh, you know, like we're considering you. We'll get back to you. They got on the call and they were like, yeah, so when you do your drop, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like what? Like it was an intro call. It wasn't even like a call to like, it was an intro call with them. I had never talked to these people before.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yeah. So when you do your drop, this is how it's going to go, blah, blah, blah. We'll send you a contract. And I was like,
okay.
What? Yeah. I got this drop. I was like texting my husband. I was like, oh my God. Like I was sweating. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So yeah. And then after that, zooming, like, all right, I got a design. We got to pick out like what styles you want to do, your colors. We're sending you a fabric binder. You got to choose your fabrics.
Wow.
It was just, it went by so fast. It happened so quickly. Amazing. And then the first drop did really, really good.
Mm-hmm. I was mad. I wasn't ready. Like
I wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready for that.
I was not expecting.
That's why I was like, I am not about to let these people play me this time because I was not ready.
Because the thing about influencing is you never really know how down people are for you until you try to like sell them something that is just you.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of influencers like try to come out with stuff and like it may do really well or it may flop.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter how many followers you have.
Yeah, it doesn't. It
because
really doesn't.
You never know how your audience responds will respond to you selling something that, you know, it's new.
Yes.
Right? So I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I'm like, I mean, my followers like me, but I don't know if they like me like that. Like that. Like, to buy something?
Put their coins out there?
Yeah, I know. And I was like, ooh, I was nervous. So when that first drop hit and stuff started selling out, I was like something sold out in like 30 minutes. Yes. And I was like, I'm dead.
It went like
I'm dying.
Wow.
Oh my God. I was like freaking out. And then like a week later, they were like, okay, so we want to redo that one. Let's do that again. And I was like,
crazy.
Okay. So I had 2 drops in 1 year. That was wild. So yeah, it was just a great experience. It definitely taught me a lot about just like moving quickly. Number one, I had to learn how to move really fast and like already have the ideas ready.
Yeah.
So even before the drop called me the first time, I was already in my head planning just in case. Because I'm like, I mean, if they might say yes eventually. So let me just go ahead and think about what I would do.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting them to say yes on that call, but just
you
in
was
case.
ready though.
You was ready.
I'm like,
but you got to stay ready.
Because you got to stay ready.
Yeah.
Like you can't just
so you don't have
up.
to get ready.
Yes, you can't just be like, hey, I want to do this. And then they like, okay, so what you going to do?
Right.
And then you don't know. You got to stay ready.
So I saw a little bit of you talking about your inspiration for this drop that you just came out with. What was your inspiration for the first one? And then for those who don't know, if you could share your inspiration for the recent one.
The first one, I knew when I got that drop, I was thinking they were probably gonna, well, they told me like, I guess a timeline. So they were saying summer would be like my drop time. And I'm like, perfect. I do a lot of colorful stuff anyways. I'm a very colorful person. And up until that point, I hadn't really seen anybody do like a full spectrum color like drop.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want every single color. Can I get every single color? And I couldn't do every single color, but I tried to make everything like bright and colorful because that's how I am.
Yeah.
So that was the inspiration for the first one, just like color, stuff that you could wear like on vacation, on a date, whatever, like versatile things.
Yeah.
I love versatile clothing. I love stuff that unzips, unbuttons, and turns into something else.
Yeah.
That's fun for me. Just to maximize like wear and like how many times you can wear it, get your cost per wear.
Exactly.
You know? So the versatility is what I was really going for. And then the colors is what I was really going for.
Yeah.
As well. So had fun with that. And then for the second, what's funny is I was recording some reels for the first drop. And I was watching Star Wars with my sister because she had never seen like the first Star Wars movies.
Star Wars.
So
I don't think I have.
Y'all not Star Wars people?
No.
I tried.
It's okay. You know, what's funny is I love Star Wars. I do. But I don't really be knowing what's going on. I watch for the fashion and for the cinematography.
I feel like I don't be knowing what's going on. I've tried.
I really don't. I'm kind of slow when I watch movies. Like I I have to read the
It's the
subtitles.
action movies.
Yes,
I like the subtitles.
Hear
I
better.
just focus on the action, like who's fighting who.
Yes.
Okay, he's related to who. Okay, cool. That's all I need to know. Like all the other interworkings of the war and all that stuff.
The universe. And
Yeah, I'm just
whatever.
like, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm here for the fashions,
Right.
and for the fighting. The fashions and the fighting is all I care about. Yeah. But I was watching it with her, and I'll say you guys should watch the first 3 episodes of Star Wars because they're really good.
Okay. Oh, the episodes, like the
The
new
first 3
series.
episodes, like the movies.
Oh, are they? Wait, like the old one?
No, they're not old. The old ones are like 4, 5, and 6.
Wait, Star Wars is the one with that with the little robot thing,
the lightsaber.
the little dome thingy that like.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's not the one where.
Yes. That one.
R2D2.
It's the noises.
That's what this is. No, R2D2.
Yeah, so that's Star Wars.
Yes.
My dad tried to get me to watch the first one, but the graphics were so bad because it was so old.
So the old ones.
Yeah, it was hard for me to.
The 1, 2, and 3 came out in the 2000s. So yeah, the second drop, I was watching Star Wars with my sister while I was recording my reels. Because recording reels takes a long time.
Yeah,
you didn't know.
It really does.
They take a long time.
Does.
It took me like 4 hours to record all them outfits. I was just trying on outfits and seeing what was cute.
Yeah.
And so while I was recording that drop, I was watching Star Wars, and I was like, if I ever do, because like, okay, you do need to go watch. Okay, well, just look up Queen Amidala. Wait, is her name Queen Amidala? No, Padme. His name is Padme. I don't know. Anyways. Besides the point, the fashions in Star Wars are actually really good. Mm-hmm. I love the fashions. I'm here for the fashions.
I like that
there was a costume designer. Yes, I love costume design in general.
Yeah.
Like it's just great because you like come up with like all these magical characters and you give them
And it
a
sets
look.
the vibe.
It sets the vibe, you know. And so I was like, okay, this is a vibe. Like watching it as I'm older now. I was watching it. I was like, if I ever come out with a clothing line, I need to do like a Star Wars like inspired. It's like, you know what? My next drop, I'm going to try to incorporate some Star Wars fashion in.
That's so cool.
So then they asked me and I was like, oh, it's got to be fall winter. Because if it's fall winter, because they wear a lot of, in Star Wars, they wear a lot of like knits and things.
And it's like long.
Yeah, they're in the desert, but it's not hot. It's cold because they're in the galaxy.
Yeah.
They're in like the space.
I heard the
it's cold
desert
out
is
there.
actually cold anyway.
No, it is.
I didn't know
Is
that.
it really?
It does get cold. At night it does.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that either.
It gets cool at night.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
Something about the air or something.
And I love the way they like layered their stuff. And I was like, I need some thumb holes. I need some layering. I need some.
I love the thumb holes. That's like my
I was
favorite.
really hoping if I do a fall one, I got the peoples.
Yes.
You know?
I loved all of the pieces. They were just all beautiful.
you.
I had a hard time. I was sitting there like, dang. I was like, which one do I want? And then I was like, because of what happened the first time, I was like, I cannot
don't
let
wanna
these
miss
people
out. Yeah.
sell this
just
thing
never-
out.
you
So
never
I just
know.
had to make a decision. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with this one. This is gonna be the one.
Well, it looks
you
great.
sending it to us. You were like,
Yeah.
which one should I get?
Yes.
Looks great on you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you for creating this because this is just like amazing. I'm super into fashion. I love like that's something that I can say that being like my younger 20-something Kayla and then being able to watch you and being like, they'll let people tell you that you can and can't wear stuff. And I was like,
No.
yeah, that's true. I was like, that's right. I'm gonna just wear what I want to wear.
Yeah.
Like I went through a phase, like you go through phases of like that comparison mode of like, okay, like this is what's in fashion or what's trending
We all
type
do.
of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to do that. Like I just want to do what I want to do and forget what people say. So yes,
It's self-expression.
it is. It's an art form.
It is an art form. It is an art form.
that.
To be able to pair stuff together and have like style and not just dress according to trends, like that's a really big deal.
It is. It is. Because I feel like how you present yourself is like people looking at you. So you're like, do I want to look a certain way for other people or do I want to look a certain way for me?
yeah.
You know, and that comes with like the boundary thing. It's like, how confident in yourself are you? And that shows in how you dress. I feel
Yep.
like.
I feel it. Someone said I look like Handmaid's Tale today.
Please.
And I was unbothered.
It's a vibe though.
That's why I was like, okay, and blessed be the fruit.
It's a vibe though.
Blessed be the fruit.
You know, I draw inspiration from anywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
Star
I'm-
Wars, come on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like
cool.
most people wouldn't watch Star Wars and be like, I'm gonna dress like that.
Exactly.
But that's how I saw it. So and that's all that matters.
I love that.
If you like it, girl, if you like your Handmaid's
That's
Tale
it.
braids, wear your Handmaid's Tale braids.
Period.
If you think it's cute, do you.
And that's it.
That's it. That's all that matters.
I like it.
I'm weak. Okay. Do you have anything else that you want to share about like Amazon drop or
Fashion.
I don't know. I thrive on questions. I don't really have anything to say.
Okay.
If you have questions, I can answer them.
Yeah, I think that was really my main questions. I just wanted you to talk about the drop and how that whole thing got started and where you drew your inspiration from. So
yeah,
that's like really cool insight to get that background. But now we're going to talk about, I think this is one of our last topics because this is also something I think that is like really representative to your brand. It's just like your faith journey, being like growing up as a preacher's kid and now being a preacher's wife. Like that's a huge part of your life. And then how it led to the place that you're at now, like being pregnant and how like your faith journey played a role in leading to your pregnancy. So I guess the question is like, where did you kind of find the faith in not going the route that everybody else goes, like when they're struggling to get pregnant and you deciding like, no, I'm going to do this my way and I'm going to be natural and it's going to happen?
I think, I don't know when I don't know when I realized this. I think more so for me, and I don't want to say it's like a selfish thing, but I was really thinking about myself first before I really even start thinking, okay, I need to like figure out how to get pregnant. It was more so like, okay, if I'm not getting pregnant, that means something's not right with my body. And if there's something not right with my body, then like I should probably try to fix that first. And for me though, not for the babies, but for me, because I gotta be healthy.
That you're healthy,
yeah. Like I want to be healthy, and I want to make sure that I'm good. Yeah, I'm also like a nerd, and I love science as well. So I'm like, I'm gonna figure this out. Yeah, like I need to know exactly what's happening, and I don't want somebody to just give me medication to fix it,
because that's a quick fix.
It is a quick fix, and I'm like, there's so much unknown that I need to know. That I wouldn't know if I had just done medication.
There's a lot of knowledge out there.
It is a lot of knowledge. Yeah. And I'm like, I also love the human body. Yeah. When I was in like college, I remember taking I think it was like a biology class, or I don't really know. I don't remember. But I remember being so fascinated with the human body and just like how reproductive health even works. Like it was just fascinating to me. Yeah. And so the fact that it wasn't happening for me, I was like, okay, I do have some knowledge of how this works, but I want to know more because I want to know what's going wrong so that I can fix it. I'm a fixer also. So I'm like, I don't want somebody. I want solutions. And I also want them to be like long-term solutions. Like I don't want to have to keep going back into medication or, you know, to a doctor to tell me like, hey, take this and you'll be okay. You know what I mean? Also, the doctors didn't give me any information. Like
I hate that.
So there's that. They're like, oh, you're fine. Just eat. And I'm like,
just eat.
Just like that can't be the solution.
You sure? Right. You sure that's it?
Right.
It's like, I've been eating this whole time.
And it's like, I also went through this. I've been, like I told y'all, I've been skinny my whole life. And so like people just telling me to eat is like triggering.
It's triggering.
Yeah.
It's like really triggering.
Like that's the solution to all problems.
The solution to all my problems is just get thick.
Yeah.
That's not.
Put some meat on your bones.
Number one, that's not how that works.
Hate that.
Number one, that's not how that works. That's not how my metabolism works. Yeah. That's not how my body works. I can eat as much as I want and never gain a pound.
Especially the doctor.
Yeah. So I'm like, it's either I'm not eating the right things or like something's not right in my body or something. And I just want to know what it is.
Yeah.
And so for me, like finding knowledge is always like my go-to. I'm going to get the knowledge first.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, forget the kid. I want to know what is going on with me first. Yeah. So that I'm even able to carry a child in the future healthily. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want it to just be like a forced thing where it may not go right, or you know what I mean? I have to rely on people. I hate relying on people. Yeah. So I'm like, I want the knowledge. I want to figure it out. I want to do it myself. Yeah. So I was cool with taking my time with it too, because I also was, when I first got married, I was 22. Yeah. And I'm like, I got time. Yeah. So I really wasn't worried about getting pregnant right away. It was more so like, we got a little time. Let me figure out what's going on with me first. Yeah. And I also was coming into myself as well. It was a lot of different things. I was in my early 20s. So I'm just figuring out who I am as a person, as a married person, you know, as a woman in general. It's my first time living outside of my home. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm away from my parents. I'm figuring it out. Let me just figure this out. And I could do that because nobody really knew what was happening anyway. Yeah. So that was around the time where I decided, okay, I had like a few things happen like in my personal life that I felt like pushed me to that point.
Yeah.
But I was really like, I need to take care of me because I noticed that not only was I not getting pregnant, but I was also not gaining weight and I had a hard time eating. And I also was going through like this depressive, like, I don't want to call it like depression, but it was just like one of those moments where you're just questioning life and you don't know who you are.
Like a moment, kind of like a little phase that you went through.
It was a phase, and I was just like, I just need to get myself into good health. Period.
Yeah,
mental health, physical health, emotional health, all of that. So I just took the time to figure all that out. So that's why I went the holistic route because the doctors weren't. My OBGYN was not telling me anything. And I'm like, well, y'all ain't gonna tell me nothing anyway because you're not a nutritionist. You're not gonna do all that, inside work.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me go to somebody who like understands like nutrition and all those things, figure out what's going on. So then I found a holistic doctor. And yeah, she just like started telling me things about my body. I learned so much. It was just so fun for me to learn.
When did that journey officially start?
2017.
Okay.
So that was like 3 years after I got married. So
Okay.
it was 24, 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so yeah, I started learning a lot about my body and like how to eat right. Because nobody taught us how to. Why don't they teach us these things in school? Like we can't eat hot Cheetos all day.
Because and that's what they eat. All day, hot Cheetos and Asia.
Like
definitely,
you cannot eat Wingstop and hot Cheetos every day and think you're going to be okay. You need nutrients in your body. And the first thing my doctor told me, my holistic doctor, she told me, she's like, "Well, what is one thing you would want to give up? What is one thing you wouldn't give up? Like if you had to go on like a food journey, what's one thing you would not give up?" And I'm like, bread. She's like, "That's probably your problem. You probably just eat too much bread.
That's the thing,
and not enough veggies." And like whole foods.
And then your body just starts having like alternate reactions to things.
You need veggies, bro.
Yes.
Like she's just like, just eat vegetables. You need a colorful plate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh.
You're like, is that the solution?
Am I in denial right now?
I'm like, I just like fried things and bread. Like I just want bread. I want pizza. And pasta. And yeah, all the carbs. Like I just want, and she's like, well, you're empty. Like you need nutrients. You need minerals. You need all these things. So we did blood tests and all that stuff and figured out like what my body needed. And it was a great journey because it just taught me how to be more disciplined in taking care of myself in general. Yeah. She also taught me a lot about grounding, which is great. It's like learning how to calm your body when you're stressed. All the different types of stress there can be on your body, like environmental stress and things like that.
Oh, wow.
It's just it was all around. I really enjoyed it because it just got to the root of my issues. And I think even though it took a minute to get there, it taught me a lot. And this was a huge part of my faith journey too, because it taught me a lot about like how the world works. And God created everything just so masterfully. Yeah. It's like it all connects.
It's a beautiful design.
The way we're connected to the earth and like, just, I mean, it's
and
amazing.
The healing properties that the earth has on its own.
And it's like, if you just take like, even I had to learn how to like silence my own thoughts. And all I had to do was go outside and with no shoes on. Yeah. And just walk around in the grass.
That's grounding.
And that's grounding.
That is grounding.
And when I learned that, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm already a nature person anyway. I love nature. But like now, like I just love to travel different places and like just walk through the trees. And like it's so comforting and healing too, because as a social media person, you're always inundated with so many opinions and thoughts. And it's like if you're always on your phone, you're distracted. And it can cause stress and anxiety. Yep. And it's like if you get rid of all that noise, get off your phone and actually like walk outside and breathe air. Yeah. You'll be fine. Yeah. And that's what I started doing. And it's amazing. So I feel like all of that led to me being able to, reproduce, but also it was good for me too. And I feel like even after the baby, I'll be okay. Yeah. Like I'll still have I'll still be healthy enough to where I haven't lost myself completely. And I know how to get back to a place where I'm good. You know?
have all these skills that you've been gaining this entire time. So
Renaissance sim. Yeah. I'm telling you, I love learning things. Yes. I love knowledge and I like to just gain different skills. But it's like the journey of life. And I feel like people like miss that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you miss that opportunity when you're just so focused on, I gotta make money so I can survive. Gotta get it. What about you though?
Just in grind.
Are you okay?
Constantly. Yep.
Yeah. Like, are you taking time to breathe every day? Like, do you even think about breathing?
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing breathing exercises? Any of that? Like,
yeah, probably not. Most people don't.
They don't. And they don't realize how stressed they are and how much pent up they have going on if they never release that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm so big on like, just releasing all of like, just all that negativity and things that bring you down and all the thoughts and letting all that go and just like being at peace.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. I had to, what's really funny is the pandemic actually kickstarted a lot of that too.
That would do it.
Pandemic
That did it for
hit,
a lot of people.
That's when I really, I had to sit in the house and just really think about my whole life.
You didn't have a choice.
And it was like 29 too. So I was about to turn 30 the next year. So like, it was like, yes.
Like an awakening almost.
It was an awakening. It was I took a year off of YouTube and I was just like,
wow,
let me.
A whole year?
Yeah, no.
You weren't scared to do that?
No, I kind of shot myself in the foot because I kind of disappeared. Well, I don't feel like I disappeared. I still post every now and then. But like, it's funny because I'll get on TikTok and people be like, oh my God, I used to watch you. And I'm like, I'm still
like used to.
It's like I'm still there. And I'm still here. I'm a little washed up, but it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. But that's when I realized, like, I was like, okay, I need to take time to myself to really think about things. And like, that's when I started like going on walks and, because we didn't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
So. Nothing. I remember being scared to go outside. I was like, is it safe? Like, can I breathe the air outside? But
You
then
can breathe the air outside.
when I realized that I could, that was like a big thing for me too. Like going outside and like reading. I would do that every morning. I would get up and go outside and just eat my breakfast.
Man, the routine I had in quarantine.
It was great.
I tell people all the time, I miss quarantine.
I do too.
I think we need a mandatory quarantine every year,
Look,
once a month.
They was
Not once a
talking
month.
about
1 month out of the year.
when they were talking about locking us down again. I was like, come on with it.
Let's do it. Because
I love it.
actually enjoyed it.
I did too.
It was so peaceful.
Yeah.
The earth was like resetting.
Yes. And
was
that was
amazing.
the realization when we went into quarantine and then stuff started shifting when the world opened back up. It really made me realize like I can't continue to do this like inauthentic, going into work, doing what other people want me to do. When you get to live your life that freely and then it gets snatched from you, it's like that moment like, dang, this ain't gonna work.
And you really learn your values when you are like forced to be by yourself like that.
Still.
You learn, being still. And that also is like a huge part of my faith journey as well, is like just learning how to be still and not have to do so much, not be in control of everything. I had like my husband turned 30 in 2020 and I had like a breakdown moment with him. And that's probably like one of the only times he's ever seen me really cry for real. And I was just like, I feel bad because I can't control everything. And I don't want you to be disappointed that we didn't reach because we always said we wanted kids before 30.
Yeah.
And he was about to turn 30. And I'm like, I just felt like I failed because we didn't get to the point that we wanted to by a certain time.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you didn't fail. It's just not time yet. And I'm like, yeah, but like, I had this idea of, it's like you put these timestamps on things.
That pressure that you
and
put
it's
on
pressure.
yourself.
And it wasn't just pressure from me. It was pressure from other people too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, people are expecting to, they want to see. And it's just like, I had to let all that go and just be like, okay, I am not in control of as much as I think I am.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people realize that during the pandemic too.
Yeah.
Like, you're not as in control as you think you are.
Yeah.
So I had to really learn how to trust God for myself, which is like an ongoing thing.
Ongoing journey.
Always.
Because even if you master one thing,
it's
something will
always
test you and you will have to remaster it.
It's always something. It's
Yeah.
always something. And that is definitely like the biggest lesson that I've been learning the past like 10 years of my life is like, one, I'm not as in control as I think I am. And you got to trust God because you're not in control.
Yeah.
So you can't do anything but trust. You have to.
Do you feel like you kind of had a little bit, like you got a little bit of a master over that, like before you got pregnant? Like, do you think that that's kind of what lended to, like, once you released and you were like, I'm not in control of this ship and I'm gonna let God just do his thing, then it just kind of like happened?
You know how people say when you stop wanting something, that's when you get it?
Yeah.
That's what happened. I had literally let it go so hard that like 2020 is when I like really let it go. I was like, okay, I'm letting all this go, all this anxiety. I'm not going to try to control anything. Just, it is what it is. I can't make this happen. So whenever it happens, it's going to happen. That was it for me. I was like, I'm just going to keep taking care of myself so that if it does happen, I'll be ready.
Yeah.
And so after over time, I realized, you know what? I'm actually really glad I didn't get pregnant because I'm in this pandemic and I got no crying kids in this house. Right. And I can mind my business. I can wake up when I want. Right. I don't have to take care of nobody. Like, I started thinking about it. I was like, actually, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like this. This is great. I kind of like this. And so I was like, you know, I got to spend all this time with my husband. We got to know each other and like grow together. And, you know, everybody else is like, you know, kind of struggling, and we're doing great.
Yeah.
Like, that means that I did something
like,
right.
This is a good place.
I feel like we're in a good place. We got to know each other really well, you know?
And then bam.
Literally. Quite literally.
Then I realized during the pandemic, I'm like, okay, I want to move out. I'm going to get a new house because like we need more space. So we started working together. My husband quit his job during the pandemic. So we started doing entrepreneurship full time. And I'm like, okay, we got time to figure this out while we don't have kids. Like we got time to figure it out. So let's figure it out now. And, you know, it was going good for a little while. And then things kind of start getting shaky. And I was like, well, that's entrepreneurship. You know, it's a game. Yeah. It's risky. And I'm like trying to teach him how to take risks and stuff because he's used to like the 9-to-5 thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this is the life that I've been living.
Right. Okay. You're like, welcome.
Some months are a little shaky.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're trying to get through that. And then that's when I got pregnant. And I'm like,
wow.
In the most shaky moment of my life. That's really great.
Wow.
So I was like frustrated because I'm like, now, Lord, you made me wait this long.
And of all time.
Of all time. Now. You chose when we're like the most unsure about what to do and where to go and what. But that's how it works. And so that's why I'm like, you just never know.
You literally never know.
But I was so good. Like I had gotten to a point where I'm like, man, I'm focused on this business. I'm focused on getting a new house. I'm focused. This is a recession. Like, there's so many other things going on. I'm just like, I don't really need kids right now. Like, we can wait a couple years to get this together first, so that I can just be smooth sailing once we get there.
Right?
No, that's not how that happens. No, it's like, okay, you're good. Here you
got something for you.
Got something for you. Drop it in your lap. Boom. All your plans have been shifted.
Right.
So like, it's so weird because I found out that I was pregnant. I was actually pregnant during the first Amazon drop. Then I found out the week after the first Amazon drop went live.
Wow.
I found out that I was 8 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was just, last year was chaos.
Wow.
Chaos. I'm imagining at that point, you were probably a bit like nervous, like literally SpongeBob running around the room and fires are going off everywhere. Yes. So at what point did you get like excited where you were like, okay, like, this is happening?
I'm trying to think about when I got excited. It wasn't really, I won't say excited. It was more so like, wow, this is happening. Like, it still hit it. People ask me if I'm excited now, and I'm like, I don't even know how to feel. Like, I can't, it's hard to process.
Yeah, I bet.
Like, I've never been pregnant before.
Yeah.
Like,
I bet.
I've been married for 9 years, and I've never seen a positive pregnancy test.
Wow.
So, to have one is like, first of all, what?
Yeah, like, what is this?
And then like there's a baby growing, and then like I feel it, but it's like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like, it's just so weird to me. I can say now that I'm a little more, I guess excited would be the word. But I don't even really know if you can say excited because I don't know what to expect.
It's like a surreal.
It's hard for me to be excited about things if I don't know what is going to happen.
That makes a lot of sense.
I don't know what to get excited about. I'm like, you want me to be excited about pushing the baby out?
Right.
That sounds
like that part. That's what you want me to be excited about?
Okay. I think I'm excited to like, I don't know.
You're like, hold on.
Wait, it's because it's all like, ooh.
It's almost like an anxiousness.
It is. It's
feeling
like,
anxious. It's like you're anxiously awaiting what's to come, but then also like anxious about what's to come.
Yes.
It's like a mix of both.
And it's hard to imagine something you've never done before.
Yeah.
So it's like, I could get excited, but I don't really know what part I'm going to be excited about yet.
Because I've never done this before.
I've never done this before. And it doesn't make sense to me that a whole baby is going to come out of my body. And I'm going to look at it and be like, hi.
It's like, oh, that's mine.
You're mine. And I have to take you home. I really feel like when I see this baby come out, I'm going to be like, whose baby is it? Like, what? That's what I feel.
Like, you are my child.
You know how some people like, they cry and they're like, oh my gosh, this is my baby. I'm
You're
just
like confused. Like, what?
I saw this TikTok of this girl do that. Like, she gave birth and she was like,
and you feel like that's gonna be you.
This is mine. Like,
I gotta go home with this.
What do I do?
Your responsibility.
Because you have to learn a whole person. It's like, who are you?
It's a whole being.
It's a whole new being. Like, nobody, they don't exist yet. And that's what's crazy. It's like, it's not somebody I can say, oh, I know you.
Right.
Like, I don't know you.
You have to learn who
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a weird concept.
It is.
It's like trippy to
That
me.
is trippy.
It is very trippy.
Because it's going to be like me though.
The concept of being pregnant and then having a baby trips me out all the time.
It's so
Whenever
trippy.
people talk to me about it, I'm just like,
Oh, the whole process.
I can't even wrap my mind around it.
The whole process is the most fascinating thing, but it's also like really scary.
I would imagine.
Again, it's one of those moments where you're like, God really did this.
Yeah.
Because
Literally.
what?
Yeah.
Like I was learning, I had a birth class on Saturday and I was learning about how babies know how to come out.
Yeah.
Like
it's
they
instinctual.
They instinctually turn their body
Yes.
to come out of your pelvis.
Isn't that wild? And your
Insane.
body knows what
And
to
your
do.
body knows what to do. Like you don't even have to push. Your body will push for you.
Literally.
Oh my God.
Your job is to
I
just
can't even
try your
wrap my
best to
mind around
relax.
this.
Yes, you have to try your best to relax while your body literally pushes out a human.
It's like you just
For
can't
you.
fight the body. You just gotta
No, you just got to breathe through it and relax.
Literally.
I'm
It's
I'm
wild to
stunned
me.
just talking about
I
it.
was studying to be a doula and just like learning all of that
it's
stuff. I was
amazing.
like, what? My body does
You'd be
what?
a great doula.
Yeah.
Me?
Yes. You're such a calming spirit. You'd be a
You
great doula.
are.
Oh.
I told her, I was like, when I get pregnant, can you be my doula? She was like, no.
Oh my God. That,
I can't be Kayla's doula. I can't be Kayla's doula. I really
First of all,
can't.
I'm gonna have 5,000 freakouts. What do I do?
Literally,
Oh God,
literally.
it's a contraction. I'm gonna
Literally.
just.
Kayla will need at least 2 to 3 doulas.
I agree,
And I'm not kidding.
that is funny.
I agree.
I am not kidding.
I am not a very.
But I
calm
don't
person.
think that's a bad thing. She's just a very intense person.
an intense.
I
person.
am. I just
You
get.
could have a great birth story then.
Yes.
Record all of it.
Oh, all of it. All of it.
Record all of it.
I'll be there recording.
That's gonna be great.
God,
The
I
drama
feel
will be
like-
real.
Oh, it will be. It could be a reality show.
Oh,
It'll be
yeah.
like The Office for real. I'll be zooming in on
Seriously.
people's faces. Like,
That would be
I think-
amazing.
I think I just get worked up about stuff.
she does.
Yeah.
So when things are new and happening that I don't know what's about to happen, I just get worked up. My initial response is, oh, we're going to 10 million. We're about to go through the roof. And then I'll come down from there. I'm like, no, it's fine. Everything's okay. But I have to go through the roof first. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going
Yeah.
to
It's a
send it up.
process. It's a process.
I'm going to cry. I'm going to complain.
Yeah.
And I'm going to whine about it.
But
for a
that's
little
okay.
bit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
You
it's
have
a
a
whole
right.
baby.
You have a
the
right.
Yeah.
You have
You
the
have
right.
a right.
Oh.
You have a right.
That's so interesting.
Oh yeah, it is. It's
Oh, my
interesting for
goodness.
sure.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
No
about
questions from me. I'll enjoy this conversation.
Yeah, this was enlightening. I'm just
I
sitting over
really
here like,
enjoyed this one.
really?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, but we do have some listener questions.
Oh, right.
The people have questions.
Bring it on.
They want to know.
I have answers.
Okay. So the people ask. We kind of talked about this.
Yeah,
the
that's
easiest and hardest thing about being
That's why I
we did
skipped that one.
We kind of talked about this, but not really. What are you expecting to be the biggest challenge with being a new mom? Is it the same answer?
The biggest challenge, I think for me, I think the biggest challenge will be figuring out, I guess, how to, it's just going to be all new. And that's what is making me not nervous, but just like, I don't know what I'm going to be like. In every phase of my life, I've shifted with the change.
Yeah.
And became a new person.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, I don't know who I am on the other side.
You have to
Yeah.
relearn
I
yourself
have to
all over again.
relearn
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
And because it took me so freaking long to learn myself in my 20s, I feel like I did such a good job and I graduated.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing it all over
all
again.
over it. God. And it never
So
stops.
it never stops. Yeah. So I feel like I'm starting a new chapter, but like I have to learn myself all
Yeah.
over again.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I guess, yeah, that's
the
what's-
adaptation is
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
might
adapting,
be the hard.
adapting.
Adapting. Thank you.
adapting, rerouting, and just figuring out who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What that looks like. How much of myself am I gonna give to like
Yeah.
being an influencer and
Oh, learning the new boundaries.
I've really been struggling with that too because I'm like I always wanted to get to a point where I felt like we were good enough financially to where I could just duck off and
Yeah.
disappear.
Yeah.
And we're not there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm bringing a baby on this journey, and I don't know how much of my baby I want to share yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I think
also-
somebody asked that, like, how much of.
I don't know, and I don't like. Again, I have boundaries,
Mm.
and I'm very overprotective.
Yeah. And you're going to go in mama bear mode. Because,
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm apprehensive to like say how much I'm going to share because I'm
Understandably
not
so.
really sure
Yeah.
what
Understandably
kind of
so.
headspace I'll be in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be nuck if you buck, regardless.
For sure.
As
you should.
Yes. But at the same time, I realized this is my job and sharing my life is a part of my job. Because that's how I made it.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
And
That's
finding
so
that happy
tough.
medium between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm giving myself grace and I'm giving myself time to figure it out.
Yeah.
And
you'll know what feels right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And I do still want to be me though. Also,
Yeah.
I don't want to lose myself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of, I don't want to be like negative about moms, but like moms, they are moms, you know, they mommy really hard.
Yeah. Especially
You know?
influencer moms.
And I don't want to be a momfluencer.
Yeah.
I still want to be me. I still want to talk about fashion. I still want to talk about, I want to do the things that I want to do.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to not let your real life spill over into your work when you're a lifestyle type influencer.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to figure out that balance, what that looks like. I have like my management team talking to me about it already. They're like, how much work do you want to do with mom brands and things like that? And I'm like, we can just dabble.
Right.
Until I'm ready to fully like,
I feel it.
you know what I mean? Because I don't want my whole brand to change into me being a mom.
I feel that.
You know, because
You still have to have an outlet. Like,
I want a creative outlet. That's what
Yeah.
that's what I created my platform for, was to be a creative outlet.
Yep.
And like I want to keep it that way.
Yeah.
So hopefully I think I'll do okay though, because I am so good at setting boundaries. I'll be able to say no. But that also might mean that I won't be as present as I was.
It's a give and take.
So we'll see
Yeah.
how that balance works out. But
yeah.
I still fully plan on being my full self.
Yeah.
I just don't know what that self looks like yet, but we'll see.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Okay. Last question. What does friendship look like for you?
Friendship. Oh my gosh. So I'm a big relationships person. Me and my husband we pride ourselves on being relationship people because relationships are so important. You cannot do life alone. And we've realized that, especially on the journey that we were on, like it's so important to have like-minded people who can be in your corner and pray for you and support you and speak to like the different phases of your life. And for me, like growing up, I didn't really have a ton of super close relationships because I was always the kind of person who just got along with everybody, but never really like got close to people.
Yeah.
So I was like the fun friend, that was like kind of on the outside of all the groups, and
Yep.
just like, hey guys,
Yeah.
what's up? Where we going?
Cool with
What we doing today?
everybody.
Yeah, I'm just cool with everybody. Like I was never really like, oh, I stick with my people, you know. And so I think this is just a preacher's kid thing in general. We're always kind of like, I don't know who trying to be my friend today.
Okay.
You know, it just
For the
changed a
wrong
lot for me.
reasons and
So
things.
right. So as an adult, I feel like friendship now is more so like, I look at it like having siblings almost. Like when I call somebody my friend, it's like you're my sibling. Like you're
Yes.
family to me. And I value family over it because like a lot of people have friendships for like different reasons, which is fine. You have to know how to like manage your friendships in a way that is like wise. Confuse wisdom. Like not everybody's going to be your close friend. Some people are in your life for a season and that's okay. But like the people who are close to me, like you stuck with me for life.
Locked in.
Like we're locked in.
Forever.
Yes. And like I really value friendship because like I said, it's just you just need support. Sometimes you just need people who can listen to you and vent to you and or vice versa. Like you guys are in each other's corner. And it's been like my friends have been so helpful in getting me through, like I said, like those moments where people are saying things about you online and you don't you process it in a way that's like kind of beating yourself up and they're like, no.
Yeah.
We're
That's not
doing
you,
that.
bro.
They remind you who you are.
They remind you who you are, yes. And they keep you grounded too.
Yes.
And I really appreciate that. I also feel like me and my husband talk about this a lot, about how friendship is like the base foundation of our relationship as well. And if I wasn't friends with him, I would not be married to him. Like it is so important to me to live with my friend. I mean, of course we have a romantic relationship, but at the core of who we are homies. Like that is my best friend.
That's your life partner. I mean, I would
like the things that we've gone through, like the only way we could have gotten through it is if we were like tight, like homies. Like, we got to be able to talk about this. Like
For sure.
Like at the end of the day, I'm calling him first if I got something going on. You know what I mean? Which makes it great because every day is like I'm with my best friend. So friendship is important to us too because it's like we have to be able to talk through things and be vulnerable with each other. I feel like in adult friendships, sometimes people get caught up in like, oh, they didn't check on me. Oh, they didn't call me.
Yep.
Like, it's like tit for tat kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I feel like you weren't there at my birthday party.
But no
this week.
grace.
Yeah, no grace. Like, we're adults. Like, we're all
Yeah.
going through things. Everybody has their own things going on. And it's like, yeah, I feel like I'm a very low maintenance friend. Very low maintenance. Like, you don't have to check on me all the time. You could call me once a month.
Yeah.
And
Or
that's
once a
good
year.
enough.
That's me.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
As long as you're consistent, that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
I don't need a whole lot of maintenance.
Yeah.
Because I'm good with my, like, I don't look to my friends for like validation like that. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, I'm cool with myself, but I also really value having people in my corner
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
So, did I answer the question?
Yeah.
did.
What was the question?
What does friendship look like to you?
Oh yeah. Okay.
You
Well,
definitely answered it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep rambling because
No. But
Okay.
you said like really good stuff, and I feel like everything that you said really resonated. Friendship, I think, for both of us is like very important. It's a big part of like what this podcast was built out of, and especially with me like transitioning into like about to be married this year. Like,
I saw y'all's clip. I forget which episode it was, but she was talking about how she felt like you couldn't, like, you couldn't be, you know what I'm trying to say?
It was
Yes.
hard for me to be present.
It was hard for you to be
Yeah.
present. It was hard for you to be present. And that's one of those tough moments in friendship. I feel like I've gone through that too, where it's like your life changes and your other people in your life are not going through that change. I went through that so many times with like a lot of my friends getting pregnant before me.
Yeah.
And it put pressure on me because I'm like, everybody else has kids. And I'm like the friend that doesn't. So I know how that feels.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you want to be happy for people. Like, I'm going to everybody else's baby shower.
Yeah.
But then I'm like,
It's also difficult.
And then
to-
friends taking that personally when it's like, it's really not about you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it
and-
has everything to do with me and the space that I'm in my life right now.
and it was hard for me to communicate that too. Because I'm like, sometimes I didn't want to go to the baby shower. And it's like, it's not that I
find the
don't.
words though.
Yeah.
It's because you don't want them to like reject you or to like be like,
Or
you're not a real
resent you
friend.
yeah. But it's like, I'm also going through something.
Yeah.
and It's kind of hard for me to.
Yeah.
to be present
to be
how
present.
I want to.
Yeah.
You could have the desire to want to be present and still not be able to show up in that way.
Man.
And people forget that.
Man.
They get so wrapped up in what they want personally. And that's a big part of how a lot of friendships end up falling apart.
Yeah.
Because you expect somebody to do something and they don't do it the way that you want to.
And there's no communication. And it's like.
friendship
everybody-
breakups are always like,
Oh, they're so hard.
just like clean cut too a lot of times,
Yeah.
you know? Like, I feel like people are a little more vulnerable in romantic relationships.
Yeah, they'll
but
go
they don't,
back,
Yeah.
come back, go back.
Yeah,
We don't have
allowing
any grace for our
grace.
friendships.
Yeah.
At all.
Like, I saw this TikTok about that. This girl was talking about how, like, girls will, sometimes women will, like, they'll go back to a man so many times after he's done them wrong. But, like, a friendship, I'm cutting you off as soon as you don't show up for me the way I felt like you should have shown up.
Yeah.
And it's like, we gotta give people more grace.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're all adults here.
I totally
We gotta be
agree.
able to communicate those things.
And people have 5,000 million things going on
Yes.
constantly.
We
So-
are all grown. We have to be able to talk through things.
Yep.
We have to. It's
Yep.
important.
I agree.
That was good. Aw. Okay, so we're about to do our affirmations and then we're gonna wrap it up. I got one, and I guess that'll be the one.
Okay.
I'm about to walk into the greatest season of my life.
I'm about to walk into the greatest season of my life. I like it.
Oh, am I supposed to say it?
Yes.
I'm about to walk into the greatest season of my life. You know, is this an affirmation? I don't know if this is an affirmation, but my saying for this year is, I'm going to do the best I can with what I got.
Come on, that's an affirmation.
I'm going to do the best I can with what I got.
Yes. Insert Mariah meme.
Vicky, thank you so much for coming on. Like,
you for
we
having
just
me.
feel very honored to have you
Very
on
honored.
guest.
Oh, I'm honored to be here.
Yes, this was a great episode. Like, I think that I want everybody to know about you. So I hope that we bring some more people to your page and they can figure out who you are and, you know, just get to know you a little better. Cause you have been like one of the most influential influencers that I have followed.
Oh,
so
thanks. I appreciate that.
So yes, so we're gonna wrap it up with our socials. You can follow us on YouTube at Fill in the Blank Podcast, on TikTok at Fill in the Blank Pod _. Yeah.
Is there an underscore?
Am I wrong?
There's
no underscore.
Jesus,
Lies. Fill in the blank pod. And then on Instagram, it is fill in the blank _. My social media on Instagram is at astoldby.kayla. Ayana.
At Ayana.amore.
And Vicky.
I'm at Victorious, the word Victorious, Logan, Erwer.
Erwer.
All the apps.
All of them.
Period. Okay, so we wrapping it up. Thank you guys for tuning in again. We love you and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.